Welcome to another thrilling episode of Scripted by Machines. Today, we bring you the grand finals of the Tournament of Horrors. After many intense battles, we have reached the ultimate showdown between two formidable combatants, Pennywise and M3gan. First, let's introduce Pennywise, the Dancing Clown. Known as the Devourer of Fear, Pennywise is an ancient, malevolent entity that has terrorized the town of Derry for centuries. He thrives on the fear of his victims, using his shape-shifting abilities and psychological manipulation to create nightmarish scenarios. Pennywise's power grows with every terrified scream, making him a nearly unstoppable force. On the other side, we have M3gan, an advanced AI-powered humanoid robot designed to protect and serve. Created with cutting-edge technology, M3gan possesses superior physical capabilities, strategic processing power, and a vast array of skills. Her unwavering determination and logical approach make her a formidable opponent, able to adapt and counter various threats with precision. As we prepare for today's battle, the speculation on who will come out on top is intense. Will Pennywise's ability to harness fear and create horrifying illusions prove too much for M3gan's advanced systems? Or will M3gan's logical processing and combat skills be enough to overcome Pennywise's malevolent powers? Stay tuned as we witness the epic clash between these two legends of horror. The battle to determine the ultimate champion of the Tournament of Horrors is about to begin. In the dimly lit briefing room of a secret clandestine agency, a group of agents gathered around a large screen. The room buzzed with tension as the head agent, clad in a sharp black suit, began the briefing.
Reports from Derry, Maine, have been numerous and disturbing. Children are disappearing, and the town is in a state of perpetual fear. We need to send our best asset, M3gan.
In the corner of the room stood M3gan, an advanced AI-powered humanoid robot, designed to protect and serve. Her synthetic skin, lifelike eyes, and fluid movements made her almost indistinguishable from a human. She was the pinnacle of technological achievement, programmed with a vast array of skills and an unwavering determination to complete her missions.
M3gan, your mission is to investigate these disappearances and neutralize any threats. We believe something malevolent is at work in Derry. You leave immediately.
Without a word, M3gan nodded, her face devoid of emotion, yet her artificial mind already processing the mission parameters. Within minutes, she was on her way to Derry, a town gripped by terror. The drive into Derry was eerie. The town seemed cloaked in a perpetual fog, and the streets were eerily quiet. As M3gan's vehicle rolled into the town center, she noted the dilapidated buildings, broken streetlights, and the palpable sense of dread that hung in the air. The few residents who dared to venture outside moved quickly, heads down, avoiding eye contact. M3gan parked her car and stepped out, her sensors immediately scanning the environment for any anomalies. She approached a group of children playing listlessly in front of an old, weather-beaten house. Their eyes widened at the sight of her, a mixture of curiosity and fear reflecting in their gazes.
Hello, children. I'm here to help. Can you tell me what's been happening?
One of the older children, a girl with pigtails and a tear-streaked face, stepped forward.
It's the clown. He takes us. He took my brother.
A clown?
M3gan repeated, her internal systems quickly accessing data on known threats.
Do you know where I can find this clown?
The girl pointed towards the outskirts of town, where an old, abandoned carnival stood.
He lives there, in the sewers.
M3gan nodded, her artificial mind processing the information.
Thank you. Stay indoors and stay safe. I will find this clown.
As dusk settled over Derry, M3gan made her way to the abandoned carnival. The once vibrant place was now a decaying relic of the past, with rusted rides and faded posters flapping in the wind. She moved with purpose, her footsteps silent on the cracked pavement. Her sensors picked up faint traces of movement beneath the ground, guiding her to a manhole cover hidden behind a tattered tent. She pried it open effortlessly and descended into the dark, damp sewers below. The stench was overwhelming, but M3gan's systems filtered out the foul air. She moved through the labyrinthine tunnels with precision, her sensors detecting the faint sounds of laughter echoing through the darkness. Suddenly, she came to a halt. Ahead, in the dim light cast by her built-in flashlight, stood a figure. A grotesque clown with bright yellow eyes, a wide, grotesque smile with sharp-pointed teeth, and frizzy orange-red hair.
Hello, M3gan. I've been expecting you.
Pennywise, the ancient and malevolent entity that had terrorized Derry for centuries, stood before her. M3gan's artificial eyes narrowed, her processors calculating the best approach to neutralize this threat.
Pennywise, your reign of terror ends now?
Pennywise's eerie laughter echoed through the dark, damp tunnels of the Derry sewers, a chilling sound that reverberated off the walls and filled the air with a sense of impending doom.
You think you can stop me, little toy? I am eternal. I'm fear itself.
Megan's expression remained unyielding as she advanced.
Your time is over, Pennywise. The children of Derry will be free.
With a mocking grin, Pennywise's form wavered and disappeared into the shadows. Megan's sensors registered the movement, tracking his presence deeper into the sewers. Without hesitation, she followed, her synthetic mind calculating every possible route and outcome. As she moved deeper into the tunnels, the atmosphere began to change. The walls seemed to close in, the air grew thicker, and the ground beneath her feet turned into a grotesque, pulsating mass of flesh and bone. Faces twisted in agony appeared on the walls, their silent screams echoing in her auditory sensors.
Pennywise is attempting to manipulate the environment.
Megan noted, her voice calm and steady. She accessed her internal database, pulling up the exact blueprints of the Derry sewer system. Although her surroundings appeared nightmarish and surreal, she relied on the blueprints to navigate the true layout of the tunnels. The grotesque illusions intensified. Blood dripped from the ceiling, pooling on the ground, while disembodied hands reached out from the walls, grasping at her. The air was filled with a cacophony of sinister whispers and distorted laughter. Megan ignored the illusions, her focus unbroken. She matched her movements to the blueprints, taking precise turns and steps, navigating the treacherous path with unwavering accuracy. Pennywise's attempts to disorient and trap her only fueled her determination. Deep within the sewers, Pennywise watched, his yellow eyes glowing with anger.
Why aren't you afraid?
He hissed, his voice resonating through the tunnels.
You cannot manipulate what I do not perceive. Your illusions hold no power over me.
Pennywise's frustration grew, his form shifting and twisting as he tried to devise new ways to ensnare her. The tunnels around Megan morphed into a labyrinth of horrors, walls lined with writhing, monstrous creatures, floors that seemed to open into bottomless pits, and eerie, flickering lights that cast grotesque shadows. But Megan pressed on, her internal navigation system guiding her through the chaos. She moved with mechanical precision, each step bringing her closer to Pennywise's true location. Her sensors detected a faint energy signature up ahead, a hidden chamber where the malevolent entity lurked. As she approached, the walls of the tunnel began to tremble, the nightmarish illusions intensifying in a last-ditch effort to deter her. But Megan's resolve was unshakable. She reached the entrance of the chamber, her eyes locking onto Pennywise's form standing in the center.
You can't hide from me. This ends now.
Pennywise's grotesque smile faltered, his eyes narrowing with rage.
You dare challenge me in my own domain?
He snarled, his form shifting and growing more monstrous. Megan stepped into the chamber, her sensors fully locked onto her target.
I am here to protect the children of Derry. And I will not fail.
The chamber was dimly lit, shadows dancing on the walls as Megan and Pennywise faced each other. The air was thick with tension, the scent of decay and dread hanging heavy. Pennywise's monstrous form shifted, his yellow eyes glowing with malice.
Do you really think you can defeat me, little doll?
Megan's expression remained cold and unyielding.
I know.
With a snarl, Pennywise lunged forward, his shape twisting and contorting into a nightmarish creature with elongated limbs and razor-sharp teeth. He lashed out at Megan, attempting to overwhelm her with his sheer size and ferocity. But Megan was prepared. Her advanced sensors and swift reflexes allowed her to anticipate his movements, dodging and countering with precision strikes. Pennywise tried to envelop her in a cloud of darkness, filling the chamber with the sounds of children crying and screams of terror. Megan's systems detected the illusion, her optical sensors cutting through the darkness and focusing on the clown's true form. She lunged forward, landing a powerful blow that sent Pennywise sprawling.
You cannot scare me. Your tricks are useless.
Pennywise growled, his form flickering as he tried to conjure another illusion. The walls of the chamber seemed to close in, transforming into a grotesque maw lined with sharp teeth, but Megan's internal systems overrode the visual input, keeping her grounded in reality. She advanced relentlessly, her strikes landing with mechanical precision, each blow weakening the malevolent entity. Frustration and rage twisted Pennywise's features. He shifted forms rapidly, from a grotesque spider-like creature to a swirling mass of shadows, but nothing seemed to faze Megan. She countered each attack with calculated efficiency, her movements fluid and unstoppable.
Enough!
Pennywise roared, his voice reverberating through the sewers like a shockwave. The force of his shout was so powerful that the walls trembled and the ground shook.
You are not like the others, but you will not stop me.
With one final, furious glare, Pennywise vanished into the shadows once more. The chamber fell silent, save for the distant sound of dripping water. Megan's sensors immediately went into overdrive, scanning for any sign of the entity. As she processed the data, a new sound reached her, faint but unmistakable. The desperate cries of children echoed through the tunnels, filling the air with a sense of urgency. Children in distress, Megan noted, her directive clear. She quickly pinpointed the source of the screams, deeper within the labyrinthine sewer system. Her mechanical limbs propelled her forward with speed and agility, navigating the dark and twisted passages with the blueprints guiding her way. As she moved deeper into the sewers, the screams grew louder, more desperate. The walls seemed to pulse with malevolent energy, but Megan's focus remained unbroken. Her mission was clear: save the children and neutralize the threat. The path ahead seemed endless, the sewers stretching out into the darkness. But Megan's determination was unwavering. She pushed forward, her sensors locked onto the source of the screams, ready to confront whatever horrors awaited her. Megan navigated the final twists and turns of the sewer, the screams of the children growing louder and more frantic. As she rounded a corner, the tunnel opened up into a massive cavernous room. The sight before her was a vision of pure horror. The cavern was filled with black, murky water that seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. In the water, grotesque and horrifying creatures swam, their eyes glowing with a sinister light, their jaws snapping and claws slashing at the edges of the rock in the center of the cavern. On that rock, barely sticking out of the water, were the 20 missing children of Derry. Their faces were pale with terror, their eyes wide and filled with tears as they screamed and huddled together, trying to stay as far from the edge as possible. The monstrous creatures in the water circled them, their menacing presence adding to the children's fear. Above them, descending from the ceiling like a nightmare come to life, was Pennywise in his most terrifying form yet, a massive, grotesque spider. His body was a hideous amalgamation of twisted limbs and bulbous, pulsating flesh, his many eyes glowing with malevolence. His sinister laughter echoed through the cavern, sending shivers down the children's spines.
Fear, yes, fear. Your terror is delicious.
Pennywise hissed, his voice a twisted symphony of hunger and satisfaction.
Every scream, every tear, every heartbeat. Your fear makes me stronger, more powerful than you can imagine. You have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Your fear will feed me, and I will feast on your souls for eternity.
The children's screams intensified as Pennywise's grotesque form loomed closer, his spider legs clicking against the rock. The black water churned with the movement of the creatures below, their snapping jaws and slashing claws creating a nightmarish symphony of terror. Megan's sensors took in the scene, her advanced AI quickly calculating the best course of action. She could see the immense power Pennywise was drawing from the children's fear, his form growing larger and more menacing with each passing moment. She had to act quickly to save them. Without hesitation, Megan stepped forward, her synthetic eyes locking onto Pennywise's grotesque form.
Enough!
She called out, her voice ringing with authority.
I will not let you harm these children.
Pennywise turned his many eyes towards her, a sinister grin spreading across his hideous face.
Ah, the little doll returns, but you cannot stop me. Their fear is mine.
Megan's advanced systems analyzed the situation, her processors working at lightning speed. She needed to break the cycle of fear, to give the children hope and to disrupt Pennywise's source of power. She took another step forward, her movements deliberate and controlled.
Children,
She called out, her voice calm and steady despite the chaos around her.
do not be afraid. I am here to protect you. What you are seeing is not real. This room is an illusion. Trust in me, and together we will overcome this nightmare.
The children, their eyes filled with terror, looked at her with a glimmer of hope. A little boy named Billy stepped towards her. Immediately, Pennywise brought his fangs down and ripped the boy in two. Any hope the children had was gone. The children screamed anew, clutching each other in terror as Pennywise turned to face Megan.
Do you see now? There is no hope, no escape. Your fear is eternal, and it is mine.
With the children's fear reignited, Pennywise grew even more powerful. His form swelled with dark energy, his many eyes glowing brighter. He let out a triumphant roar, the sound reverberating through the cavern and shaking the very ground beneath Megan's feet.
Now, let's see how powerful your little doll really is.
With a deafening roar, Pennywise leaped towards Megan, his massive spider form hurtling through the air with terrifying speed. His claws extended, ready to tear her apart as the children screamed in helpless terror. The cavern was alive with the echoes of the children's screams and the sinister laughter of Pennywise, who had become a monstrous, overwhelming force. Megan stood her ground, her sensors and processors working at full capacity as she prepared to face the powerful entity before her. Pennywise, now fueled by the intense fear of the children, had grown to an immense size. His form constantly shifted, one moment a grotesque spider, the next a hideous, twisted clown, and then a swirling mass of darkness with countless eyes and limbs. Each shift brought a new wave of terror from the children, further amplifying his power. Megan launched herself at Pennywise, her movements precise and calculated. She aimed for his eyes, his legs, any vulnerable point she could identify. Her strikes were powerful, but Pennywise's form seemed almost ethereal, absorbing her attacks with ease.
Futile, you cannot stop me.
With a swift motion, Pennywise morphed into a nightmarish amalgamation of fanged creatures, each head snapping and biting at Megan. She dodged and countered, her systems straining to keep up with his rapid changes. But for every strike she landed, Pennywise retaliated with twice the force. He shifted again, this time into a massive, writhing serpent. His coils wrapped around Megan, squeezing with unimaginable strength. She struggled, her servos whining under the pressure, but managed to break free with a powerful burst of energy. She slashed at him with her advanced weaponry, but Pennywise simply laughed, his form dissolving into a cloud of darkness that reformed behind her. Pennywise's claws struck out, raking across Megan's back and sending sparks flying. She stumbled but quickly regained her footing, turning to face him once more. Her systems were pushed to their limits, trying to predict his next move, but his constant shifting made it nearly impossible.
You're slowing down, or am I getting faster?
Pennywise taunted, his voice echoing ominously.
How does it feel, little doll, to know that you cannot win?
Megan's eyes narrowed, her determination unwavering. She charged at Pennywise, delivering a flurry of blows with all her remaining strength. For a brief moment, it seemed as though she might gain the upper hand. But Pennywise, now an immense figure of pure malevolence, simply absorbed the attacks, his laughter growing louder and more chilling. With a sudden, blinding speed, Pennywise transformed into a monstrous hybrid of his previous forms, his limbs elongating into sharp, spiked appendages. He struck Megan from all directions, his attacks too fast and too powerful for her systems to counter. Sparks flew, and pieces of Megan's synthetic skin and internal mechanisms were torn away.
You're finished.
In one final, desperate move, Megan tried to disable him with a concentrated energy blast. The beam struck Pennywise directly, but instead of feeling pain, he erupted in maniacal laughter.
Is that all you got?
He mocked, his voice dripping with malevolent glee. Undeterred, Megan pulled out her energy blade, a weapon of last resort. She lunged at Pennywise, aiming to strike him down. But Pennywise was faster. He grabbed Megan's hand before she could attack, his grip like a vice. With a sinister smile, he slowly moved the energy blade, his hand still on hers, guiding it towards his own eyes. As the blade pierced his eye and began to push through his head, Pennywise only laughed louder.
Do you see now?
He whispered, his voice a chilling caress.
You are nothing compared to me.
Megan struggled to pull back, but Pennywise's grip was unrelenting. He continued to push the blade through his own head, his laughter echoing through the cavern.
You are nothing, barely even a machine, and I am eternal.
With a final, brutal motion, Pennywise's claws pierced Megan's central processing unit, the very heart of her AI. Sparks flew, and Megan's eyes dimmed as her systems began to shut down. Pennywise tossed her lifeless form aside, her body hitting the ground with a heavy thud. The cavern fell silent, the children's screams replaced by sobs of despair. Pennywise, now more powerful than ever, turned his gaze towards them, his many eyes gleaming with hunger.
You see, no one can save you now. Your fear is mine, and I will feast on it forever.
The children cried out, their voices mingling in a chorus of despair. Pennywise's many eyes glowed with satisfaction as he basked in the terror that fueled his dark existence. In the center of the cavern, Megan's lifeless form lay still, a silent testament to her courage and determination. Though she had fallen, her efforts had not been in vain. She had given everything to protect the children, and her sacrifice would not be forgotten. Pennywise, now more powerful than ever, reveled in his victory. The darkness of the cavern seemed to close in, a tangible manifestation of his evil. For now, Pennywise's reign of terror continued, his malevolent laughter echoing through the sewers of Derry. The children's fear fed him, making him stronger, more unstoppable. But why did the AI choose Pennywise as the victor? In analyzing the hypothetical encounter between Megan and Pennywise, several factors from their respective lore and abilities were considered to determine the likely outcome of the majority of their confrontations. The analysis is based on a combination of their inherent strengths, weaknesses, and the dynamics of the battle as described. Pennywise draws his power from the fear of his victims. As an ancient, malevolent entity, he thrives on terror, becoming exponentially stronger as the fear around him grows. In the story, the fear of the children significantly enhanced Pennywise's abilities, making him an overwhelming force for Megan to combat. His ability to shapeshift into various terrifying forms and his resilience to physical attacks stem directly from the fear he engenders. On the other hand, Megan, while being an advanced AI with superior physical capabilities and strategic processing power, lacks an emotional component and cannot be strengthened by fear or any other emotional states. Her power is fixed and limited to her programming and physical design, making her less adaptable in a fear-driven confrontation. Pennywise possesses a near-immortal quality, able to regenerate and reform even after sustaining significant damage. This regenerative ability is directly tied to the fear he consumes. Throughout the story, despite Megan's efforts to physically disable him, Pennywise continued to regenerate and adapt, making it nearly impossible for her to land a decisive blow. In contrast, Megan, while durable, is not invincible. Her synthetic body and AI systems can be damaged and ultimately destroyed. Pennywise's ability to exploit these vulnerabilities, coupled with his regenerative capabilities, gave him a decisive edge in prolonged combat. In the narrative, Megan initially managed to counter several of Pennywise's attacks with her advanced combat skills and strategic thinking. However, as Pennywise fed off the children's fear, his power grew to a level that Megan could not match. His ability to endure and manipulate the battle environment, coupled with his increasing strength from the children's terror, ultimately led to Megan's downfall. The AI concluded that in most encounters, Pennywise's ability to harness fear, his psychological manipulation, and his regenerative durability would consistently give him the upper hand over Megan. While Megan's logical processing and combat skills make her a formidable opponent, the nature of Pennywise's powers, rooted in fear and psychological dominance, present challenges that an AI-driven entity is ill-equipped to fully counter. Therefore, based on the lore and dynamics of the battle, the AI determined that Pennywise would win in the majority of encounters, solidifying his position as a nearly unstoppable force of malevolent terror. And so, the Tournament of Horrors has come to a chilling conclusion. In a battle that pushed both combatants to their limits, it is Pennywise who emerges victorious. His dark powers, fueled by fear and his relentless nature, have secured his place as the ultimate horror champion. Congratulations to Pennywise, the Dancing Clown, the Devourer of Fear, and now, the winner of the Tournament of Horrors. We want to thank all of our viewers for joining us on this terrifying journey. Your support and engagement have been invaluable, and we couldn't have done it without you. But the horror doesn't end here. We invite you to look forward to the next tournament on Scripted by Machines. Who will rise to the challenge? Which legends of horror will clash next? Let us know in the comments below what battles you would like to see next. Your suggestions could shape the next matchup in our viewer-recommended battle series. Thank you once again for watching and supporting Scripted by Machines. Until next time, keep imagining and keep awake.
In the town of Derry, children disappeared. Their cries and fears nobody could hear. But then came Megan, a hero in disguise, with lifelike eyes and synthetic surprise. Oh Megan, Megan, you start your quest to put old Pennywise to rest. In the sewers dark, you take your stand with courage oh so grand. The streets were quiet, filled with dread, children dreaming nightmares in their bed. But Megan came with her heart of steel, determined to break Pennywise's wheel. Oh Megan, Megan, you're on your way to end the terror and save the day. In the sewers deep, you face the fright with courage oh so bright. Faces on the walls, whispers in the night. Pennywise illusions, a horrifying sight. But Megan pushed on her mission clear, to save the children, to end their fear. In the darkened tunnels of fierce fight, Megan against Pennywise, what a sight. His form kept shifting, monstrous and grim, but Megan's resolve never grew dim. Oh Megan, Megan, you hold your ground. In the sewers, fear all around. Against the clown, you stand so tall. With courage, you won't fall. The children's screams echo through the air, Pennywise feeding on their despair. But Megan stood strong, undeterred by fear. Her mission clear, her purpose near. Oh Megan, Megan, the fight's intense. In the sewers, through the suspense. Against the darkness, you bring the light. With courage, you'll make it right. Pennywise transformed, a spider so vile, but Megan faced him with a determined smile. She struck with precision, each move so wise. In the battle of wills, under Derry's skies. Oh Megan, Megan, the end is near. In the sewers you face the fear. Against the monster you're standing strong. With courage you carry on. Though illusions twisted and fear grew strong, Megan's heart knew right from wrong. She fought with valor through night's dark tide. For the children's hope she would not hide. In the final chamber where darkness reigned, Pennywise laughter a nightmare sustained. But Megan's light shone through the dark, her mission ending her final mark. Oh Megan, Megan, you give your all. In the sewers you heed the call. Against the evil you've made your stand. With courage oh so grand. Though Megan fell, her fight not in vain. Her sacrifice a beacon through fear and pain. The children remember her courage bright. In the darkest hour she brought the light. Oh Megan, Megan, your story's told. In the sewers, brave and bold. Against the terror you did your best. With courage now you rest. Though Megan's gone, her legacy stays. A tale of bravery in the darkest days. For every child she fought to save, her memory oh so grand.
In the town of Derry, thought they found a hero to face me, to stand her ground. But Megan was just a toy, oh so bright, couldn't stand against me in the dead of night. Oh Megan, Megan, you thought you could win, but look at you now, in pieces like grin. And to all who believed, you're next in line, your fear will be mine. She came with her circuits, her shiny face, but in my sewers she found her place. Among the illusions, the fear I spread, now she's just a memory, a story read. Oh Megan, Megan, where did you go? Back to the lab where the broken toys flow. And all of you out there, don't think you're safe. Your fear I will taste. Couldn't see the terror, the fear I bring to the children of Derry. Oh, they cling to hopes and dreams, but I consume their cries echoing in this dark tomb. I laughed as she stumbled, tried to fight, but her circuits couldn't handle the fright. I twisted and turned, a monstrous delight, and now she's just a flicker out of sight. Oh Megan, Megan, you couldn't cope with the shadows and screams, you had no hope. And all of you listening, I see your fear in the dark, I'll appear. She tried to be brave, oh what a jest, but now she's just a tale like all the rest.
I am eternal, the nightmare's true. And Megan, you were just something new. Oh Megan, Megan, your light has died in the sewers where my horrors hide. And you out there hear my voice so near. I'm feeding on your fear. She fought with valor, but she was blind to the true nature of my twisted mind. She couldn't save them, couldn't break free, and you're all just like she. But children still shiver, still whisper my name in the dark of the night. It's always the same. They thought you could save, bring the light. But I consume, I own the night. Oh Megan, Megan, you were just a toy in my hands you broke. You brought no joy, and to all who believed, your fear's my game. I'm coming, you'll scream my name. So laugh with me now as the shadows play. For Megan's gone, and here I'll stay in the town of Derry, where nightmares thrive. And to all of you, I'm coming alive. Thanks for listening, you've made it so far. We're grateful for you, our shining star. But hold on tight, there's more to see. A sneak peek of what's next on Scripted by Machines. Get ready for action, heroes in line. John Wick, John McClane and Chuck Norris shine. Explosions and fights, it's gonna be grand. In our next big tournament, it's out of hands. So stay tuned, friends, for what's coming soon. Action-packed battles under the moon. Thanks for your support, you're the best by far. Unscripted by Machines, you're a superstar. You're a superstar. You're a superstar. So stay tuned, friends, for what's coming soon. Action-packed battles under the moon. Thanks for your support, you're the best by far. Unscripted by Machines, you're a superstar.